for sure, with a passion for all things fitness, health, wellness, family, friends, and continuing education. Please welcome my very special guest, Manylights. I hope I pronounced that, Manylights.
Yes, yeah.
And we are going to touch on love, nutrition, art, media, wellness, and Give Nation. That's the key, Give Nation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So nice to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Magic.
Well, I'm going to go with that. You know, I got used to style icon pretty quickly, so now I'm Mr. Magic. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's my nickname for you.
Well, I think I could use the same for you. So let's begin. Let's start getting to know you a little better, and then, as I said, this is be shamefully a self-promotion. This is your chance to just talk up everything and tote your horn, because that's what this is all about. So what is something that people might be surprised to learn about you, Manylights?
Well, some people might be surprised to know that I live for love, and I live to understand love, and I live to become love. And that's my priority in life. Yeah.
We're going to get further into that one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's help understand what brought you to this point. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Thornhill, Ontario.
Okay.
First, my parents were like in North York area, and when I was around 4 years old, they moved out into Thornhill.
Okay.
And I lived most of my childhood there up to like 15. Then I moved around. I moved to Richmond Hill, and then we moved to Maple, then back to Richmond Hill, then to Markham. Now I'm downtown by the water.
Well, oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, Manylights, I don't tell my guests usually this, but I do have bonus questions that are leading, and I'm going to lead in with a bonus question. And a bonus question is just something that is related to the question that you did receive from me. We have to have some spontaneity here, don't we?
Yes, of course.
In getting to know you over these past several months, it is evident that you are a man of purpose and vision, a man on a mission, if you will. Is there a defining moment in your childhood that helped to crystallize your vision and purpose?
I would say my parents, a bad word in my home was can't. They if I said the word can't, it was just like swearing. So
right.
they'd always redirect me away from that word and say, you can. That defined me as a person, I would say. And for them to tell me that there's no limits. And I used to play AAA baseball, and I was the captain of my team. And no matter how great of a game I played, afterwards my dad would always say to me, great job, you did this well, you did that well. And he'd always spend the most amount of time on what I could improve on. So those are things that built my foundation, and I constantly have that engaged with everything that I do.
So what are some of the character traits that you learned as a result of your father spending more time on what to improve upon? How did that suit your 13-year-old self?
That taught me resilience, and the fact that there's always something that you can improve on. And it also taught me humility, because although I was arguably the best player on the team and a very great player in the whole organization of baseball at that time, and every team wanted me on their team, I still felt like there was something to improve on. That brought me humbleness, and through that humbleness, that brought great leadership, and for myself and for everyone else around me.
Wow. Well, you might be interested in knowing I love baseball, and I play a good game of baseball.
All right. Well,
I can run and I can catch, which is why I played college football, believe it or not.
Well,
American college football. Anyway, that's another story.
Were you styling on? Were you styling on the field?
No. I was praying because I was a monk at the time. My mother told me I was gay when I was 5. Her word for it was that I was special. It was the conversation born out of instinctive fear that my mother had for my future well-being, safety, and self-protection. Did an adult ever take you aside to have a conversation born out of fear for your safety and your protection and your future well-being, being a boy of color? Or as my mother would prefer to say, a person with your specialness?
Yes, definitely.
Could you share that conversation?
Yes, growing up with the skin shade is, I like to say skin shade rather than give it a color code. But growing up with this skin shade, my parents made me aware that when I step outside the house, people are going to treat me differently. And, that we don't,
Yeah, I
my mom
know.
would always say, my mom and dad would say, hey, we don't hate anybody, just to be blunt, they'd specifically say white people, they'd say, we don't hate white people, but they don't like us. So they would make me aware not to feel bad about it and still share love and still be loving and caring regardless of the situation. And, they took me aside to tell me that when I was very young.
So knowing what you know today as a result of that conversation, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
What would I say to that guy? I would say, man, I would give him a little bit more confidence because, to be honest, I was affected by being this skin shade multiple times. And I would tell him in the future, you might meet someone that doesn't have the same skin shade as you, and they may love you, but their parents might not. I would warn him way ahead of time so he wouldn't experience the type of deep heartbreak that he did when, he had to go through that type of racism with someone that he loved. He cared about someone, but the parents of that person did not accept you simply because of the way that you look. So I would tell him, hey, man.
It's classic Romeo and Juliet, really.
Yeah.
It really is,
Yeah. I'd tell him, hey, man, just, love yourself no matter what, and don't let what people think of you affect.
Shout out to Mr. Du. Thank you for joining. Last week's guest, Mr. Du, thank you. So with that information about all that sage information, talking you gave yourself to just now as reminiscing as what you would give your 13-year-old self, do you see yourself as a role model?
I'd say so. Yeah, I'm constantly mindful of that, and I know that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. I'm here to develop as the best person I could possibly be, so I could share that with everyone else.
And could you share with us your mission in that regard in terms of, take us through a day where you would be devoting yourself to becoming your best self. Does that make sense? In terms of outreach,
In terms of
just
outreach,
getting a little more comfortable. Yeah.
I find I find I have a great power in my voice, and what I have to say is very significant. It's due to all the information that I absorb over the years and what I attach myself to. So I see myself in a position of spreading love and pointing people in the direction of love and self-care, because I understand that it's self-care that creates a better world. The better we treat ourselves is the better we're going to treat everyone else. And I often find that we're not loving ourselves unconditionally. We may think we're loving ourselves, but there's a skill to love yourself unconditionally. It's something to be developed, and we need to learn to unconditionally love ourselves. And I see myself, teaching people to unconditionally love themselves, and also, providing as many relief as I could possibly can around the world.
I'm going to share something with you, Manylights, that you're not even aware of. But you mentioned about the power of your words. I happened to tune in to your posting, your video, when this gentleman in Minneapolis was killed, George. And your emotion and your passion and your rawness of your emotion is what inspired me that very moment to become more vocal in terms of like vocalizing my commitment to taking the elements of my white privilege, which I've never thought about before, because I didn't have to. I had to think about other things, you know, but I didn't have to think about my white privilege, not because I didn't think of it as a privilege, but I was quite aware of that. But just more, it was your emotion that has caused me to enter into this, what I'm calling for myself to understand it better, a revolution of love and respect. And I've just finished uploading, and it's going to be released soon, a piece called, you know, how to earn respect by paying it forward. And so I would like to talk about what informs your art most, and from where do you draw your inspiration in order to pay it forward by the lessons you learn in your own self? Is it a faith? Is it a spirituality? Is it an existence? Is it something you're eating? You know, I don't know. Like, where does it come from?
I would say it's an existence of all things and being mindful and in tune with life. Really, I would say most of my life is sporadic and abstract, and I think nature is abstract. I like to reflect nature within my own self, of whatever I am. I spend a lot of time in silence, and it's in silence that we hear the symphony of the universe. Often
could you repeat that again? It's in silence that
we hear the symphony of the universe.
Oh, yeah. Are you hearing that, everybody? Oi, that is wonderful. You know, that is, as an opera singer, as a singer learning, you know, to sing opera, vocal coaches always said to singers, make your instrument, make your, you know, sing like you're a violin or sing like an instrument. And instrumentalists are told, make your instrument sing. So it's sort of that yin and yang of give and take. So the symphony metaphor is wonderful.
Yes.
Another bonus question for you. I think you're going to like this one. American novelist, playwright, essayist, poet, and activist James Baldwin wrote, quote, "Art has to be a kind of confession," end quote. What do you suppose he meant by that statement?
I would say, I think art is a form of helping humanity transform into our idea of what it should be. I think it's an honest reflection of the state of humanity as well as a directive. So I believe that within us is the entire world. Within us, there's the microcosms of the entire universe. So through our honest confessions in our artwork, we can really reflect, then connect, dissect, and then create anew from what we observe. And it's in that honesty that we actually get to transform. So I would concur with that statement.
Do you like the imagery of confession, that sense of relating to another your shortcomings and foibles? I mean, I have nightmares as a child from my formal confessions that I would make to my father confessors, and I mean, I had it down pat, by the way, but but it really bespeaks. It's very humbling to meet your authentic self.
I would say
because you always question whether you're measuring up to what of your own levels of achievements. You know, I just recently posted something that came to my head. I said, "Don't hate me because I have tall standards. You know, envy me." If you're going to have an emotion about my progress into my journey of my authentic self, don't hate me for it. Envy me for it, but don't hate me for it. Yeah. Because if you hate, you'll never get past that, because then your brain is telling you, well, I don't want to be hated by somebody if I reach my authentic self. And maybe that's what we're talking about, this confessing the truth to someone so that you can move on through your journey. And the only obstacle, as you said, by what your parents said, never say you can't. That can't is simply you renewing your confession on a daily basis. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And, I find it's the confessions to ourselves that are the most powerful. It's taking that honest time in that silence and deep reflecting with your own morale, your own idea of what life is. Are you really living to that truth? And it's that daily reflection, and whenever you get the chance, that we get the opportunity to actually grow. So I would say it's in those confessions to ourselves that we understand ourselves.
So this is maybe just taking that concept a little further then. What connection is there in your life, if any, between art and wellness? Your physical wellness, your mental wellness, wellness. Let's just say wellness.
They're all interrelated.
But specifically for you, how does that manifest itself? We want to get inside the life of Manylights, just a little microcosm glimpse. We're not going to tell anybody. and I mean in the sense that very often, as you know, the first step is the hardest step to take in that journey of self-awareness, or what I call reinvention, and it's just one step at a time, and very often people don't embark on that journey simply because they really don't know what it's going to look like in their life. And maybe if we start sharing concrete examples, and I can't think of anyone more perfect than yourself to share this, what does it look like on a daily basis? Like when you eat or something, or when you're baking, for instance, to eat something, or when you're doing housework to prepare for company or whatever. Not so much company these days, but you know what I mean. How does that connection in your life between art and wellness play itself out?
I would say, everything I do mindfully, and I stay aware. I'm very, very, very aware. I am in the moment. I'm here with you. I'm here with every single moment. I'm with my breath. I'm with my body. I engage with myself with all that I do. And some people might want to know, how do you meditate? Meditation could happen in motion. Meditation is always. It's just having an awareness. And what is awareness? It's, simply paying attention to your peripherals. So what you can see from the farthest reaches of your eyes, from left to right, farthest reaches up and down, feeling the existence of your body front to back, up and down, side to side, feeling the breath coming in and out, hearing all the sounds around you, being alive. I
love this.
Being alive and electric with your body and all of your emotions and what you feel, even when you go into a little bit of anger, or you go into a little bit of frustration, even when you go into sadness, when you go into happiness. Let yourself be the observer of all those things. And
so, go ahead. Sorry. No, I interrupted. I'm terribly sorry.
And that is, that would be something that fuels all my passions and is with me with all that I do. And I also do something called intermittent fasting, and a lot of fasting.
Yes.
And fasting allows your body to be clear of anything that is in it. And it allows your body to exercise wellness on its own. If you think about it, when we get a cut, what happens? If we leave it alone, it heals. But if we constantly pick at that scab, it takes longer to heal.
Right.
What about all those cuts and all those things within our own body that need to heal? We need to allow those to be at some times too. That's why fasting is important. It's important to allow your body to be with nothing so it could heal itself. Our bodies are so powerful in that way and in that regard, and that's why fasting is important. So I make sure to clean my body daily. If you make a mess in your house, you spill some rice on the floor when you're cooking, you're gonna sweep it up. It's the same thing. After you eat, you have to allow your body to sweep up. And I see this whole vessel, it's an antenna. So we want our antenna clear so that we could connect to the universe. So that's part of my daily routine as well, allowing my body to clean itself. our digestive system takes up the most energy in our bodies. So the more that we bombard our digestive system, we're going to become tired or lethargic or lack of energy or zeal. But when we only eat to live rather than live to eat, then we give our bodies an opportunity to be at its optimal state. So that's something I practice daily. That's part of wellness, and it goes in with everything that I do. And because my antenna is clear, the conversations with God are abundant, and the way that I hear is loud. It becomes louder the more that you clean your vessel. We all could do this. We all have powers. We are all magical. We are all sentient beings. And for us to achieve that, we have to understand the mechanics of our vessel and not bombard it with too much. Because if we bombard an already perfect vessel with things that it doesn't necessarily even need and things that we want, then we're blocking our blessings. We're blocking our connection. So that's part of my daily routine. And then when I do eat, I eat on whole food, a fresh fruit, mostly mango. You probably see it on my story. I'm the mango man.
I love it. I love it. I love mangoes too.
So I'll eat a mango, and when I'm eating that mango, I'm making love with the mango. It's me and the mango. You could ask anybody around me. I transport to a different dimension with that mango. It's me and the mango, and that's another form of meditation.
I told you, ladies and gentlemen, a man of passion. I love it. Yep. No, you are. You and that was the point of the whole passionate conversation, because passion is on every level, you know, and you are passionate, and it's contagious, and it's wonderful, and especially when you dance. So, are you prepared to dance for us a little bit?
Well,
would you show us what you're talking about, and that sense of abandonment of giving over to yourself? Listen, you do it all the time, and I that's how I came to be introduced to you. I thought, wow, look at this guy move, and you're moving with such. No, you are. Listen, hey.
Well, I have a song prepared for you guys, but since you want to dance, I could do an impromptu.
Well, no, listen, song, dance, anything you want to do.
I'm going to do both, JP.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I want to do this before we get into talking about Give Nation, because I really want to give the second half over to that. So go for it, man.
All right. So
ladies and gentlemen, Manylights.
Interpretive dance. All right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then I want everyone in the room, you drop a word of what that dance made you feel like, okay?
Oh, I love it. Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
We need the proper entrance, though. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. If you guys are ready, throw up some hearts. Throw up some hearts. Everybody throw up some hearts. Interpretive dance.
How do you throw up some hearts here? I don't know how to do this.
Are you ready?
Are you ready, everyone? Hearts.
Hearts. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Good. I have no idea how to do a heart. Jeepers creepers. Okay, here we go. Ooh! Good. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ah. Bravo.
Ooh.
Bravo.
Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't say stand up, everybody, because I'm trying out a new sound system here, which is, but I sort of like talk about being passionate. I feel like I'm a little in your face here, but anyway.
Someone feels free. That's my cousin right there.
Ah.
He feels free. What else? What do people feel after that?
I feel calm.
No judgment. Nice. Calm. Hey, JP's in this conversation.
Yes, I know. Fancy that, eh?
Could you imagine?
I'm of two minds. That's what they always say.
Energized.
So
me. Nice.
Yes. I was too busy smiling to really think about what I was feeling because I just knew I was happy watching you. And I think that's what it is. It's that contagion, laughter and authenticity are really quite good friends. It really, because without an ability to laugh at yourself in those darker moments, they can get pretty dark. So smile with those pearly whites and brighten up the room. That's what I say.
Yes.
Now you have a song. You said Did you say you have a song?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wonderful! I love this part. I love giving people the stage.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Manylights with a tune from the heart.
That intro is amazing. All right. Here we go. This one's called...
I try my best.
Let me take a sip of water here.
Yes, absolutely.
Cheers. And
cheers. Ching, ching.
Water, hold on. Water is a big part of my day. It is. Water is everything. I literally drink water all the time.
It is. But when you get to be my age, not too much. Because it means you're going to be housebound.
Oh, I get it.
No, I'm just joking. Not yet, you don't, but you will.
That's funny. Oh, man. All right, here we go.
Hi, Sky Juice.
What a world we live in, when nobody cares for giving. What a world we live in, when nobody cares for giving. What a world we live in, when nobody cares for giving. What a world we live in. Sometimes you gotta slow everything down and look around and realize that something's gotta change, that something's gotta give. Stepped out from air on a limb, drew my thoughts from the wind, watch the world spin. I realized that this life is a gift, so I'ma give back a piece of my rib. Give to your neighbors, give to your haters. Life is unbalanced with all of these takers, earth and the quakers, stacking their papers, ruling the nations like they the ones who make us, but they be the ones who break us, manipulate our form and take us. But we can't pull it all together from nature. If we all stood as one, I know they wouldn't want to face us. Where is the love? And is there enough to go around and things are getting tough? Slow down, in your door, say leave it in the numbers. Something's gotta give, something's gotta give, some way.
Thanks, Serena. Thank you. No, keep going, keep going.
Someday, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. Today, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. Hey, yo. The power's in the people, but we'll never really see that if we're caught up in the ego. They don't really care if you want to worship by the sequel, just as long as you're not out there fighting to be equal. We're really tired of leaders being deceitful. That's why I say we start a riot, but be peaceful. Freedom of speech is far from illegal. I speak up for all the doors and clothes and conscious of people when I say something's gotta give, something's gotta give. It's been too long in the system. We need a change with our wisdom and age one to listen to the honest cries of the victim and all of those in the same shoes standing with them. I know we got a lot of work to do, but if we ignore the truth and don't give care to immediate needs, we have the earth to lose. So something's gotta give, something's gotta give, some way, something's gotta give, something's gotta give, someday, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. today. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Sing. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Hey,
Bravo!
wanna know how to live?
Something's gotta give.
Gotta learn how to give. There you go.
Something's gotta give.
It presents an opportunity. Yeah.
With you and
Make a
me.
bond between you and me. Yeah.
So you see,
We're all just one and the same blood. Yeah.
something's gotta
Yeah,
give.
we're all just one and the
Something's
same
gotta give.
blood. Yeah.
Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give.
Something's gotta give. Some way. Something's gotta give.
Ah,
Gotta give.
bravo!
Something's gotta give. Today. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Say. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Some way. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Someday. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Today. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Hey. Da 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 da.
Manny, here we go. Manny. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, let's just go with it. Okay, dear. Da, 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 da. Bravo, bravo.
Something's gotta give, some way. Something's gotta give, something's gotta give. Someday, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. Today, something's gotta give, something's gotta give.
Bravo. I can't think of a more appropriate introduction to talk about Give Nation. No, really, it's you know, you just sort of let. I always say, you know, the gods might be crazy, but they're still listening, and they give you what you need. You know, they give you what you need, and and the fact that, you know, what you say, something's got to give, and that you've built an entire entity that has a life of its own on the whole concept of giving. Today's tagline is called Isolating Voices, Infinity in Motion, and the Art of Loving Unconditionally, which are all things that we've just touched upon today. And I'd like to spend the last part of today's show talking about this, talking about Give Nation. In conversation with you earlier in preparation for this show, you said that Give Nation is all about living through the heart and sharing unconditional love. What does living through the heart look like for you? Give the listeners a concrete example of something like that, aside from what you just did. I mean, that's pretty, you know, and you're dancing. But not everybody plays the guitar. Not everybody can dance. Hello, but what are some? So what does that look like for you? You're living through the heart.
Living through the heart would be engaging in things that make you feel love within your own self. Something that doesn't include anyone but yourself, and that that brings you joy. Well, it could include other people, just in terms of it's not influenced by anyone else. It's influenced by your own desire. So engaging in things that make you feel that special feeling inside. So whether
Is would it be like when we say dance like no one's watching?
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
sing like no one's listening.
Yes. And the thing is, a lot of us are doing things other people told us to do. Therefore, the world is a reflection of that, right? You know, the people are playing Monopoly rather than harmony, you know. and
So what is your strategy for discernment in terms of knowing what's authentically you and what is not authentically you, in terms of what kinds of outer messages you received as a child? I call them parent tapes, although not necessarily parents,
yeah,
because parents get blamed for everything, and you know,
yeah.
they shouldn't. But what you know, what is that for you?
Well, it's a feeling inside, and I'm gonna reference one of my mom's saying. She said, "What is for you cannot be unfor you." So you'll know pretty quickly if something's for you or not. You know, you could try it. You'll never know until you try it. You could try things, but you'll know if it's not for you. You'll feel it.
I
It's
have
a feeling.
I have an Araucanian Indian greeting on the back of my door as people are leaving, and it says, "I shall pass this way again, for I like myself when I am with you."
Ah,
And I always say that that is the litmus test of friendship or anything. That, you know, if you like yourself when you are with someone, that's a pretty good indication, you know, pretty quickly. And those are the kinds of that heart-mind connection that I speak about in, you know, and yeah. And so I think we're speaking the same language here, Manylights, that, you
yes.
know, we know pretty quickly, you know, whatever the strategy is for us to know. And maybe that's what this is all about. Offering strategies, you, me, everyone. You know, everyone has a strategy, but I think we're taking it to the next level in terms of, you know, we just keep talking about that, you know, and hopefully somebody's listening, and here we go, you know.
Yeah.
We seem to have and speaking of listeners, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're not finished yet, so stick around. But I think that's what it is. And maybe that's the mission. I feel that through my words, through my stories, like your music, like your dancing, like your Give Nation. Talk about Give Nation, please.
Yes, sure.
You know what you coined the phrase. How lead us through that. What's it all about?
Well, I'd like to. I have the this is Give Nation right here, and
Okay.
you know, and I would like to. I'd like to read the creed to everyone.
Absolutely.
So first and foremost, give. It's, you know, it's an all-encompassing word. You know, what we give is what we get, and what we give to ourselves is what we become. And often we look at give as an outward expression. Give is also an inward expression, and often we are looking to take rather than give to ourselves. And it changes the vibration when we give to ourselves rather than take. So we could change the narrative. Instead of taking, we give to ourselves, and it feels nice. You know, it always feels nice to give.
I love that.
Right?
You know, that's subtle, but you've just indicated for me an example of the power of words, the power of
Yes.
the word.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, give is a very homey word. You know, it's a very wholesome sounding. You know, give. To take, it has a lot of different kind of things attached to it, you know, especially in today's day and age. And everything is vibration. So rather than take, let's learn to give to ourselves. And what are we giving to ourselves? So there's an acronym for it too. Generate inspiring vibes every day. So every time you see
generate inspiring
vibes
every day.
Yeah, so I give these out to everyone, and you know, and stickers, and you'll get one too, JP, and it serves as a great reminder to generate inspiring vibes every day. And you know, again, that's, you know, that's give again, that's give to yourself, you know, because we are the ones generating those vibes. So here's the creed. Give Nation is a global community dedicated to exemplifying common morality and culture. We aim to have a positive influence on the function of the human condition by utilizing art, literature, entertainment, film, and clothing. By wearing Give Nation, we become part of active social change, creating space for a modern mentality. When we integrate the word give into our lives, we experience a new world filled with true love, true education, and true sharing. Simply seeing the word give affects us positively and encourages us to explore its meaning. We know where attention goes, energy flows, and that the things we give our time to shape our reality. If we become mindful of the word give and the constructive role it could play in our lives, give will transform us for the better. Reinventing perspective is the purpose, and creating a global village is the mission. Give is nature, give is culture, give is life. So when you spoke about what my purpose is, it's being part of transforming this world into a village. Again, words are power. So we have cities, towns, we have countries, we have nations, but we lost the word village. Village is, it's been restricted to a small few right now. We are all the village. We all came from the village. Village is a very homey word. We need to reinstate the village and bring the village back so that we understand that you are my brother and I am yours, and you are my sister and you are I'm your brother, and realize that all the children around us, the children of the world, there's our children. That way we have a different outlook automatically on life and the way that we lead. We realize that this whole world is ours, and it's ours to develop.
What role do you think government is playing in denying us this village to live in?
Well, there's a lot of greedy people in the world, and there's a lot of corruption that's been here from time. I feel like some of them just need a hug. JP, I think, some people just need a hug. They need a hug and reasoning.
Amen, brother. Amen.
They need a hug and love reasoning, because I feel like some of these people they segregate themselves so far into a certain kind of mentality that they lose touch with humanity. They lose touch with love. To reinstate that, sometimes all you need is a hug. And, that's what some people said. Some people have said to me, like, what would you say to Donald Trump if you met him? I first and foremost, I would love to just give Donald Trump a hug.
I don't think his Secret Service would appreciate that, but yes, perhaps. that's one way to start.
Tell Donald Trump, I would say, listen, you are 70-something. You are a grandfather. You could be the grandfather to the world.
Yes.
Like, think about that. You could be the grandpa of the world. How magical would that be? Like, all these guys in politics, they're very old, and they all have grandchildren. All it takes is a flip in the way of your perspective to realize that.
Absolutely.
You are an elder in a community. You are an elder in an entire world.
In a village. You're an elder in a village.
And
yes.
The fact is that they're not using that natural given life experience to the world. It might be segregated just for their grandson. Because I bet you anything, Trump is not treating his grandson the way he's treating us. No way.
So, in coining the phrase "infinity in motion," which I love, when speaking about Give Nation, it's a nice sounding phrase, but what exactly does it mean to you? Infinity in motion.
Well,
is it that the love never stops? Is that the idea, that the giving never stops?
Yes, giving never stops. Life never stops. Life is ongoing. Life is forever. Energy is forever. Infinity moves, Infinity is not a stagnant thing. It's an ever-growing, ever-evolving state. So I'm never finished. That's how I feel. And that's why the infinity